And just following up on that though as well, Jesse, it's like it's so easy for us to blame, they could have, would have, should have. You talked about hindsight there, our vision's always 2020 in hindsight, right? But what do you think it is? It's like it just makes people compelled to find blame in others. What's your thinking?
I mean, I think these are really basic and even very well documented, like psychological concepts that we all fall victim to well outside of safety. I mean, like the fundamental attribution error is like the most basic construct of our brains. We're doing it constantly. We're doing it like on social media. We're doing it in the grocery store. And so of course we're going to do it when, two big things rise up, when there's cognitive dissonance, when there is fear for our safety and a desire to resolve it. And I think resolving cognitive dissonance and also resolving the urge to be protected are so base. They're so deep in us. And so when we find someone to blame, what we are doing at the very core is saying, it couldn't happen to me. Because when you found someone to blame, you found a way to separate yourself from this. So even if you're an outside observer, you want to know you can't drop that thing on your toe. And so if you look at the person who dropped that heavy thing on their toe and you say, well, they should have done this differently, what you're really saying is, here's how I would do it differently. And this is an evolutionary function. If you noticed that your neighbor was killed by a tiger while hunting in tall grass, then you were less likely to get killed by a tiger while hunting in tall grass. And we just don't live in that world anymore. We're not hunting tigers. We're not faced with dangers in the raw natural world. In fact, we live in a world of overlapping safety systems. But I think that evolutionary function, that self-protective function of saying like, oh, I wouldn't do it like that, remains deeply embedded and protects us. It feels comforting to find what someone else did wrong. It makes us feel like we're safe. And the problem is, of course, that means that all the holes in those overlapping safety systems that do exist don't get corrected because we're constantly focused on who did what wrong.
Look, you're spot on. And